Would you like to attract the best client ever? Doesn't that sound amazing? Best client ever. That's what we're going to talk about today is how to attract your BCE, your best clients ever, and so that you can actually um, learn who they are. Today we're going to help you get clear, learn who they are, get really clear about who they are so that you can start working some marketing magic so that you can work with attract and then work with the most amazing clients that are going to have you just love your business. When you get up in the morning, you can't wait to work with these clients. Hello, I'm Laura West. Welcome to Joyful Business TV. I am a creative mindset and business success coach, as well as an author, speaker, and of course, host of this TV show today. So I'm really excited you have found your way here. For over 20 years, 22 years, I have been helping conscious, sensitive, creative, and ambitious entrepreneurs who want to make a difference by the way they run their business, by the type of business they do, the type of work they do, and even how they do their marketing. So you are not about soul crushing strategies and hustle. You are about finding a way to have even your marketing be soul nourishing in a way that really helps people so that they learn more about whatever it is that you help them with and they get attracted to you in that way that's very natural, very authentic, creative, compelling, and even magnetizing. So I hope you find this show as an oasis of sanity in the business and marketing world. Somewhere where you don't have to sell your soul, where you can really feel like, oh my gosh, somebody's being real. Somebody is talking about creative, conscious marketing and business strategies. So that's what we're going to talk more about today. And on um, and I want to say a little bit more about this, about Joyful Business TV. You know, part of what I do here is to really help you find your authentic self. So we talk about that a lot in the conscious business world. You know, everybody talks about being authentic, but it's like, what does that really mean? And how do you really do that? And how do you find your voice, your creative power, and that confidence to really put that message out there in a way that feels authentic and natural and even fun? So that's what we're going to do. We're going to help you start showing up more as a leader in that authentic, soulful, or soul inspired way. So if you are here live, thank you, thank you, thank you. And just to let you know how the format works, I'm going to share on this topic that we're going to talk about today and for about 30 minutes. And then we will turn off the recording and then I'll open it up to you so that we can just talk about your business. I'll answer your questions, can talk about your best clients ever or anything else that is on your mind today. So today I'm going to talk about attracting your best clients ever. And many of you might say, yeah, but I just need clients, right? I just need to work with anybody. I just need some clients. And you probably know, like you're savvy enough to know, okay, I don't want to work with anybody. You know, that there's some people you wouldn't want to work with, that you wouldn't be able to do your best work with. But what I'm going to really invite you to look at is that the clearer you get about who is your best client ever. Maybe it's a past client, maybe it's a current client who's been a best client ever. Maybe you haven't had that yet. Maybe it's somebody that's coming to you in the future. And so today we're going to get really clear. I'm going to walk you through a series of questions so that you can get really clear about who is your best client ever. And because it's really going to help you with your marketing, because your marketing will start shifting when the clearer you are about who it is that you're really talking to. And I know many times, my clients will say when they first start working with me, they'll be like, yeah, but if I talk so specific, then I might lose other people and I might be so narrow that I'm not going to attract anybody. But it's just not true. It doesn't work that way. It's actually the more specific you get, the more you focus on a specialty and the more you focus on speaking directly to your best clients ever, it's like you're more magnetic, you know? And the people who don't resonate, yeah, they're going to fall away. They're not even going to listen to your message, not even going to hear it. But the ones who are, that it really resonates with, they are going to become your biggest fans. They are going to want to watch, they're going to want to sign up for your free gift, get your newsletter. They're going to read every one of your newsletters. They're going to send it on to their friends. They're going to listen to your podcast. They're going to take a program. Then they're going to take the next program. They're going to buy your book, and so on and so on. So it's clients usually who love you, who are your best clients ever. They don't just do one thing. They become part of your soul tribe. And we'll talk in another episode specifically about how to attract, who's in your soul tribe and stuff like that. But your soul tribe are all the different types of people in your community, not just your clients. And the idea of a soul tribe is that a soul tribe, just like when you think about a tribe, any sort of tribe, that and really tight community, that you have common dreams, you have common stories, you have common aspirations. You have common fears and worries and pains, right? Things that you worry about. I know a lot of my people in my soul tribe, they're really passionate about making a difference with their business. They are usually highly creative, or they want to be. They want to be more creative. But they're worried that that creativity is going to get in the way of actually getting things done. So they feel like they're always pulled between the practical and the creative. And so I know this really deeply, right? And then I also know that a lot of my clients are highly sensitive, that they don't fit into the typical mold of that self-driven, motivated entrepreneur, that they get, they're very sensitive to other people in the world, sensitive to the energies that are going on in the world, sensitive to their own energies or what's going on inside. So that's when energy alignment has to be number one. So these are not the things that are your typical demographics, right? Another part of my best client ever is that they are, not only are they soulful and creative and spiritual, but they are also highly committed to their business. Like they have a mission. They're even ambitious. You might even call them ambitious. I know that describes me, right? Spiritual, creative, intuitive, smart, and also ambitious. So there's a wealth of information in that description that goes beyond, I work with women who are 35 to 75 and blah, 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 and here's their income and things like that. That's all good. We are going to start out with that. You do want to know some of those demographics, but then you want to blend in some of the psychographics, and then you want to get even deeper with what I call deep listening. So deep listening allows you, is really the secret to what allows you to hear what your soul tribe is going through and your best client ever is going through, so that you can speak directly to that, so that your marketing really makes a difference. It's kind of like if you've ever sat in a doctor's office, right, and you've picked up one of their magazines. They always have those magazines that are from their Kaiser Healthcare or, whatever hospital organization they might belong to. And they have all these articles in there, but a lot of them are just kind of generic, right? So you might pick it up and it talks about stress. And you're like, yeah, it talks about stress. You should pay attention to that. You should exercise. You should eat better. You should sleep, drink water, all these things. And you're like, yeah, I've read that 1,000 times. But if you picked up an article that said, stress tips for the busy entrepreneur, the busy woman entrepreneur, you might be like, oh, let me take a look at that, right? Because now they're tailoring it specific to you. And so they're going to apply the solutions. They're the same solutions, most likely, right? But they're just tailored towards the busy creative entrepreneur. And so it's going to be a little bit different. The words they use are going to be different. The examples and stories, they're going to show that they understand who you are. And then you're going to be like, wow, I want to know more about who wrote this. And then that's when you start stalking, right? That's when you start stalking. I wonder who wrote this. I wonder what they're offering, right? That's when you start getting really curious. So that is part of the benefit of really knowing your soul tribe, and in particular, really knowing your best client ever. So as we walk through this today, I'd love for you, as you're listening or if you're watching live or watching one of the replays, answer these questions as we walk through these questions, okay? So there's two different types of best clients ever that you can really play with in this exercise. One is your overall best client ever. Um, and that's more, it's going to be broader, right? It's going to be, well, put it this way. It's like, those are the people that you're going to work with, maybe in your private coaching, in your, whatever it is that you offer, whatever your service is, or if you're writing books, like those are going to be your readers. Those are going to be your overall fans. So you can work with your best client ever, as that one, or you can go in and have a specialty best client ever. And the specialty best client ever is what you do when you're doing something particular, like a program, when you're focusing on a particular program or particular product. So, like an example would be, I talked about my clients, my ideal clients who are like 35 to 75. They want to grow their business without sacrificing their life and soul. They are very spiritual, creative, intuitive. Many are highly sensitive, and they're ambitious. And so they want to make great money doing work that they love, right? That is my overall client. Now, my specialty best client ever is, and so I could look at something like my Radiance program, my Radiance Mastermind. So I would add caveats to this, right? I would get even deeper and clearer in the description. So I would add that, the ideal perfect client, the best client ever for the Radiance program is going to be someone who already has some experience. They're not new. In my overall business, my best clients ever have a range. They might be new, they might be seasoned, and they might be what I call legacy clients. And so you can take any one of those programs, any one of those particular specialties, and create a best client ever profile for that. And that's what we're going to do today. So go ahead and think about what do you want to do? An overall best client ever? Do you have a retreat? Do you have a mastermind? Do you have a certain program or product that maybe would change the demographic just a little bit or change the specifics about it? So go ahead and think about that. All right, so let's talk about some of the questions. So you want to start out with the general demographics. It's really helpful just to put that into a bucket, so to speak, or I like to call it a basket. And is it male, is it female, or is it both? So, and here's a distinction. It's not that you can't work with everybody, right? Like men and women. And a lot of you do work with men and women. That's not a qualifier. But think about your best client ever, either someone you've had in the past or currently have, or who would be the ideal person that you would work with over and over and over again. When you think about it like that, then it might come to mind like, oh, well, I really love working with men, helping them find their message and finding their creative mojo. Or it might be, I work with men, for me, I work with men and women. I have several male clients, male entrepreneurs, but I have a specialty around women and understanding the importance of women finding their voice, right? I understand the importance of women being overlooked and not being seen, and what that does to a woman how that constricts a woman when they get into their own business. So, again, there's no right or wrong, but you want to play with this and you want to make a decision. And again, the ultimate client, like if you got up in the morning, you were so excited about, like, oh my gosh, this person is on my calendar. How would you describe that person? So look at things like what their sex is, or maybe they're, gender neutral or binary. There's a lot to that these days. What is their age? Maybe there's an income bracket that you're working with. Maybe that doesn't apply. Maybe it does. For me, excuse me, all the pollen here today. When I work with clients, I can have a wide range of income. And so, but when I'm looking at work, getting really clear about my best client ever for my private coaching, it's going to be somebody who's already got some success. They already have some income coming in, that they're looking to now go to the next level of whatever that income looks like, but they're not brand new. And I have products that are really great for more beginners. And I have the Joyful Business Studio that is really great for no matter where you are in your business. That's why it's really important to help identify first, it's not just this overall client, because we have different best client ever for different types of programs, different types of offerings. I have a program called the Energy Jam, which helps you raise your vibe and really gets you into energetic alignment with what you want to create. That works. It doesn't matter if you're a beginner, seasoned, or legacy. So I could use that overall umbrella of the best client ever. But if I'm talking about my private coaching program or my Radiance program, then I'm going to go into the income really does matter. Okay. So that's why I want you to get clear about who are you working this example out with. Okay. Then there's other types of things as far as where's your client located? Does that matter? For many of you, because we're so virtual in all different ways, whether it's the phone or email or, a million, Zoom, all the different types of opportunities to connect, it may not matter. So they can be all over the world. So my clients can be all over the world. However, my best clients ever usually are, typically are, in the US, in Canada, in Europe, and in Australia, English speaking, where English is their primary language. Now, that's not every client. I have clients in Japan and New Zealand. I have clients in Africa, clients from Asia. So it's, Singapore. So it's not that you don't have clients in these areas. It's that you want to get really clear and defined so that when you are marketing, you can use examples, you can tell stories, you can speak to the types of things that are most up for those types of people. All right. You can always choose to say yes to a client. I have a new client from Africa that I'm going to be working with, and she is my ideal client in a lot of ways, and she's not in, Europe or North America. So you can choose who you work with. So there's a distinction. You can work with anybody, but your marketing, you really want to focus for efficiency, for maximum impact, for that magnetic draw, like we were talking about in the doctor's office. You want to get super clear and talk to those people. You also want to think about, like, what are some of the qualities? Like, how would you describe your best client ever? So you've heard me offer some descriptions. My clients they are either highly creative or they want to open up their creativity more. They are open as far as open to new ideas, even if they're a little bit afraid of it, open to new approaches. My clients have a hunger for approaching business in a different way. They read the traditional business books and they just don't work for them, right? They hear the word hustle and they cringe, right? They hear things like, you must have urgency, and their insides just quiver. Now, there's a way of doing urgency that's really authentic. That's a whole nother episode. But you can see like some of the descriptors. So maybe your descriptor is, just thinking of one of my clients, one of my clients is an MC she's really stepping into being an MC for conferences. And so describing her ideal client is going to be, a business who is having, who's a large organization, who's having a nationwide conference, or they're having a global conference, or maybe it's an association, right? And then she would go on to describe, who would be ideal that would want someone who does more improv and comedy and, can really lighten things up as well as hold the container for the program, the agenda for the program. So you see why it's really important, because there's so many different types of people, organizations, companies, or businesses you could work for. All right, so think about some of those qualities. You might want people, I have a client who works with Christian entrepreneurs. So that quality of being a Christian is very important. I also have a client, a past client, who brings in, who is a leadership client, but she brings in the Jewish, a lot of Jewish writings and philosophies. And it's so powerful as guidance and wisdom. And so she brings that in to help guide as kind of her unique way of helping leaders find their own wisdom and guidance. So these qualities can really matter. So it may be religion. It might be an area of the country. If you're not virtual, maybe you do want to work with people who are right in your hometown. Or maybe I had a client who is a business development coach and team coach, and she's on the East Coast. She's in DC, and she's had a lot of clients on the West Coast. And so when we started working together, she started realizing that she just didn't want to be traveling to the West Coast. Like, it really took a lot out of her to go out there every couple of weeks. And so we started putting the emphasis. Part of it was intention, part of it was just the emphasis, the conversation, that she was really looking for people along the Eastern time zone that would be easier to travel to. All right. You also want to describe your client's life. Like, what is your client's life? Even if you're more business to business, you still want to think about what is their life like. You know, if you are a accountant, like my accountant is so amazing. She's so spiritual and creative and loves my business, loves working with change makers, and loves all the different kinds of things I have going on in my programs. Whereas I've had other accountants who are just like, what is all this stuff? You have all these programs, you have all this, they don't understand the online world, and all the different ways that I do products and programs. So this particular accountant does. And so that would be part of her descriptors, that she works with a lot of coaches, consultants, online entrepreneurs who have maybe a different way of the way they need to keep their books, right? So all of these are really important. So what where I was going with that is describing their life. You want to describe the life of your clients. And so what's really important is looking at, are they family oriented? Are they more empty nesters? Do you work mostly with older single women? I know a colleague who has a travel program where you can go and live, work, and play in another country, and they take a whole group and they source everything. And so a lot of the people who go, not everybody, but a lot of them who go are single older women, who have that freedom and flexibility and want to travel with a group. So those kinds of things are really important. Describing their life. When I first, 22 years ago, I had young kids. So I was very conscious about, my life was filled with carpool and picking up from school and lunches and groceries and fixing dinners and eating healthy and, quick snacks and just the busy, busy mom world. And so it was like, how do you grow a business around in the mom world, when you're also doing all these things? How do you get your newsletter done when you're sitting in the carpool line? That would be one of my subject lines. That's shifted as I shift. And that's something to recognize that you're going to shift. Your clients are going to shift as you shift. So I still have mom clients, but a lot of my articles, that's not their main focus anymore. So then you also want to describe their career or their business. And again, you're going to go into more detail. If you are more of a life coach, you're going to go into way more detail about their life. If you're a business coach, you're going to go more into, or business related, you're going to go more into describing what their business is like. How many years have they been in business? I talk very clearly about, I have new clients who are just getting started, clients who are seasoned, they have a couple of years, they, are clear about who their best client ever is and their message. And I have the legacy clients, and legacy clients are clients who are, they've been around, right? They have been around, they are seasoned experts in what they do. However, they've reached a point where they are, some of them will go and retire, but a lot of them, my clients, reach a point where they're like, I'm ready to put my work out in a bigger way, that they've relied on referrals for a long time. And now they want this authentic way to start growing their business. They're ready to make an impact and create bigger ripples in the world. So it's really helpful. You might have 3 different baskets of clients like that. And to me, I find it really helpful to describe that, because then when you do your marketing, you'll use different examples. All right. So a couple other things that you want to do is to think about, where do they hang out, online and offline? What kinds of things do they do? Do they go to the gym? Are they at daycare? Are they at baseball field? Are they at spiritual conferences? Are they at the Gaia convention? What kinds of things do they say? This is where you get into the deep listening, and you really want to get clear. Like, what kinds of things do your clients talk about? What are they always saying? Like, gosh, I wish I could find somebody who could help me be more creative. I wish I could, I'd love to write. I would love to do a retreat. Like my clients, probably 90%, 95, 98% of my clients say, I wish I could run a retreat. Or they run retreats, right? That's a commonality. And so I use retreats as a lot of examples for my clients. And then you want to get super clear about what are your clients' problems and their dreams. And again, this is where that deep listening comes in. When you start hearing over and over again similarities, patterns with your clients, what are things that they are constantly worried about? My clients are worried about being more visible. They're confident in their expertise, but not so much in marketing. They're afraid of being seen, and yet they want to be seen, right? They're ready to be seen. So those are a lot of things that my clients will talk about. They also, one of the common problems is they don't have systems, right? And they kind of resist systems because they're creative and free and they want to be free. And then I teach them how systems can actually give them more of that freedom. So one of their dreams is they want more freedom, right? One of their dreams is, a lot of my clients like to create products. So think about, what do your clients have in common? What are their dreams? What are their problems? And those are things that you want to talk to on your sales pages. You want to talk to in your emails. Those are the examples and the stories that you want to use when you're talking to your clients. And then you want to get really clear about, out of all of those things, like what is something that is really predominant? Like what is that thing they wake up with that ache and say, gosh, I really wish I could fix this or find a solution to this, and I am willing to pay for it. Maybe they've even paid for it in other ways. So my clients, it's very common that they've worked with other business coaches, and when they get to me, they're like, oh, thank goodness. It's like their whole body relaxes because they know, because of my brand, the honesty, the integrity, the authenticity, that I bring the whole person in, and I'm not going to tell them to go do something that feels like they're selling their soul. And so that's the kind of thing that you want to do for your clients is, as you look at their pains, their dreams, their aspirations, what is it that you can really provide relief for, that they're willing to say, yes, this is important to me. And yes, I spend money on this. So really think about that for your own clients. And again, it comes back to deep listening. If you're just starting your business, you don't have the deep listening experience yet, right? So you're going to pick your best client ever for, here's what I think it is right now, who it is right now. And then you're going to use your marketing and talk to them the best you can. And then you're going to work with a variety of clients. The more experience you get in your business and the more you grow, you're going to get clearer and clearer about who your best client ever is. My best client ever tends to change a little bit every, I would say probably 2 to 4 years. I've been in this 22 years. So it changes and evolves, as I do. I lean a lot more into the transformational end of business coaching, a lot more into healing, so that you can heal, so that you can bring your voice out, so that you're willing to be seen, so that you can release your message and really liberate that creativity and your power, which is not a traditional business role of marketing. So you want to be really clear what distinguishes you. So you can see how this overlaps. You get really clear about your best client ever, and you get really clear about your beautiful brilliance. And we'll be talking about that on another episode. And then you look at kind of like a Venn diagram, right? Where do they overlap is where the sweet spot is. What it is that your client's looking for, and what is that piece that you deliver that is really unique and different to you, okay? In your own unique specialty way. All right. So I would thank you so much for listening today. And I hope that this gives you some insight and maybe some different ways of looking at your best client ever. If you would like to know more about this, make sure you watch some of the other episodes. You can also join us over on Facebook. I have a Facebook group. It's called Joyful Business Community. You can just search for that or tap on the link on Facebook and it'll take you right to the community. We've got hundreds of conscious, creative, spiritual, ambitious entrepreneurs over there. Love for you to join us. You can also go to joyfulbusiness.com and sign up for some of our free resources that we have over there. And make sure you sign up for the newsletter because it'll tell you of all sorts of great programs, retreats, and things like that I have coming up very soon. All right. Thanks so much for today's episode. And if you are here live, all right, we're going to turn off the recording. Thank you for watching this episode of Joyful Business TV. I want to invite you to get more creative strategies and support for growing your business. You can start right now by activating your abundance mindset with a really powerful creative visualization that will help you get into the universal abundance current, one of my favorite things to do. And you'll also get a companion 7-day journal that will help you create a daily habit of co-creating with the universe. These are 2 powerful resources that you can get started right now to help grow your business and activate that abundant mindset. You just go over to activateabundancegift.com.